All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. This is a intro to USA Test Prep. USA Test Prep is an assessment tool that we use here in Cherokee County School District. It was first used by EOC teachers in the district, algebra, biology, U.S. history, English, but it's been expanded in the past year or two to encompass several courses. All the major courses just about have access to USA Test Prep. If it does not, there are different administrators in the district that can work on access if it exists within USA Test Prep. It can be used for assessment, teaching, and learning. Consistent use has shown us in the past few years that this is a great tool to help students be better prepared for state assessments. I realize that, and like we all realize, that state assessments are on hold right now in the current environment, but this is still a great tool for assessing your students with your own quizzes, your own tests, any district benchmarks or district assessments that there may be. It's a great tool. So again, with today's focus on college and career readiness, our state standards are geared towards college and career readiness. USA Test Prep is a perfect tool. It's aligned to those standards. There's tons of test review products, content specific, subject area, end of grade content, EOC information, graduation level, career readiness items in here, items that get students ready for college entrance assessments, and on and on. So to get started, you log in. Our district must purchase a subscription for access. Again, they've purchased access to just about all the courses, if not all the courses in here. When you get to the login screen, it may look a little different. USA Test Prep does a good job of updating their site pretty often. So it's probably going to look a little different, but all the functions are the same. The buttons have the same functions, etc. So you've probably already been set up with a username and password. They've done that with most courses. If you don't have a username or password, or you don't know it, reach out. You can email me or reach out to the USA Test Prep administrator in your building or in the district. We can get you set up. There'll be an activation code. Each school has its own activation code. For instance, if you're at Gaffney High School, the activation code you see there on the screen is Gaffney 21. Each middle school, each elementary school, and of course the other high school, Blacksburg High School, they each have their own code. So again, you'll need to get that if you don't have it already. Then you enter your username, password. You may want to change your password once you log in. That's up to you. You don't have to, but whatever makes life easier for you. Once you log in, get to work. Easy way to do this if you're not familiar with it is click Take a Tour. It'll walk you through the basics, creating a new class. You click that link, it walks you through setting up your class. You can enroll students in your classes, add a secondary teacher to your class. I'll get to that shortly. Building assessments. You can set up custom assessments. USA Test Prep has a big bank of questions per indicator, per standard in every content area. You can set up your own custom assessment, choose from that bank of questions, performance tasks like matching items, drag and drop, etc., etc. Or you can click what's called a basic option, and again, I'll get into that shortly, a little bit more probably, where it's basically a generic test that it's a randomized selection of questions from within those test banks within USA Test Prep. Assignments, same concept as the assessments. Setting up assessments, setting up assignments is pretty similar. You choose from a bank of questions, videos, games, performance tasks. Students complete the items, you track their results, enter the grades in the grade book, and so on. Progress reports. This helps you keep track of how your class is doing, how your individual students are doing, how they're progressing so far based on their performance on assignments and assessments. There's usually indicators, a green dot, a yellow dot, or a pink or a red dot. Green's good, pink or red is not as good, yellow is in between. It's kind of how students are performing based on a particular indicator or standard. Green is mastery, pink or red means they need work. You'll see that kind of stuff in your progress report. Some other resources, use tabs at the top of the screen here. Again, this is going to look a little bit different because USA Test Prep has updated the look of their website, but the functions are the same. Use these tabs up here to access several different kinds of classroom resources, projector games that you can project onto your screen at the front of your classroom, warm-up questions like bell ringers, things like that. Printable materials, you can print lots of stuff from the site if you prefer paper pencil, if you're going to be out and paper pencil is just easier for you, that kind of stuff. So setting up a class, you go in to create a new class and you click and you're at settings, choose your class name, your last name, second period or whatever, Algebra 1 class, US History, CP class, whatever it's going to be. You can set a class password. I don't do this. You can. It's optional. Any student who joins your class will be prompted to enter the password upon entering. The downside to this is they may have to enter 2 passwords, one to get into USA Test Prep itself, one to get into your class. So you're kind of doubling up there. You can share it with a teacher. If you want to team teach, the thing is, if you do this, that teacher will have access to your class's progress, your class's performance, things like that, and vice versa. You'll have access to theirs. So I would only recommend doing this if you're planning on 100% team teaching with another teacher or something in that realm. Associated tests, you'll pick what tests are associated with your course. For instance, if you've got an Algebra 2 course and you want your students to get a little bit of review practice from Algebra 1, just an example. I'm a U.S. history teacher, so I'm not even sure that'd be a possibility there. But you can choose multiple tests. You can choose one test. These here, this SCCCR, that's the College and Career Readiness Standards. They've aligned that to this. Again, this has probably been updated since I've made this presentation with a little more as USA Test Prep gets it. This page is pretty fluid, and like I said, they regularly update it. So you may look at this one day and it's got one set of courses, and a week later it's got additional sets of courses as USA Test Prep updates. But anyway, you select your course or courses that you want your class to have access to materials for. For instance, I've got US history selected. For instance, I also teach government and economics. So I'll set up one class and I'll choose both of those choices so that when I switch from one to the other, I don't have to go in and do anything extra. I can just start selecting materials from that course. You start entering students. You add students. Our district has already set up students with accounts. Occasionally, a student will get missed. That's okay. It's pretty easy to fix. You contact your IT administrator or your district representative or your school representative, give them the information, and or I can do it. If you contact me, we'll get you set up. But assuming the student has an account, you type in the last name in the search bar, and when you find your student, you simply click that student's, and they'll appear in your class. Once you're finished with that, save the class and begin adding or creating assignments. This comes in handy. You'll see here it says you're creating a class, no assignments are available yet. If you had assignments available, say it's November, you've already been going pretty strong, and you get a new student, you can add that student to your class, and you'll get an option here to select assignments to give that new student so that when that student logs in, they'll have access to those materials. Steps for setting up assignments and assessments is pretty identical. You click create a new assignment or a new assessment and just follow the steps. It walks you through it. You have the option for basic or custom. I mentioned this a little bit ago. Basic is going to be selected randomly from USA Test Prep's bank of questions. It'll be multiple choice only. Custom, you go through and you hand select, you hand click the questions you want. You can add performance tasks like matching items, drag and drop, videos, games, etc. So that's a really great option if you really want to customize what your students are going to do. You click single assignment for one assignment, or you can select group assignments. This will give you a group of assignments. For instance, you may want your students to do 5 different assignments on Tuesday, and so you label that Tuesday work, and they open it up, and there may be a set of questions, a set of vocab terms, a video to watch, a matching activity, etc. You can add as much as you want really in there. Select which class you'll assign it to, or classes you'll assign it to, and you'll end up hitting save. Name it, choose the test it's associated with. It walks you through right here. Choose which standard indicator the content's associated with, and go on from there. Just like that. Choose your settings, start date, end date. Do you want to share it? That'll put it into your school's bank, not the district, but the school's bank of items for other teachers in your content area that they want to use it. Minimum score requirement, that's what it sounds like. If you want to make it to where students have to make a certain grade before they can move on, you can set that. You can allow multiple attempts. You can allow them to retry missed items. All pretty good options. So how do you get results? Your class gradebook is just that. It's a class gradebook. It looks kind of like a digital version of an old school gradebook. Assignments across the top, student names down one side, grades across the rest. Show students' grades, progress reports. I went over that a little while ago. Track your students' progress, a particular standard or indicator. Your class results shows you what your students have done within a set time frame and how they've done on it. Resources, just that, learning resources. You click that and it opens up a huge bank of assignments, games, review items, bell ringers, printables, projector games, videos. Everything that USA Test Prep has for your course will be under that tab. Class management is just that. It's how you manage your class. You can add or remove students. You can update associated tests and more using that tab. Kind of lastly, so there's some additional videos. You click the Help tab, click Help Videos, and there's videos in here to help provide you with some extra guidance, some tutorials, walk you through why you should choose to use USA Test Prep and things like that. Normally I would load them in this presentation, but the sound doesn't work so great when I do that. So play around with the site, click and look around. It's a great resource. There was a video on slide 10, so my apologies there for this still being there on this slide. But there's a video, Why USA Test Prep, in the help video section. Watch that. It gives you a good reason of why you should use it. Every teacher's USA Test Prep class is going to look different. Don't worry if one teacher's class looks different or one teacher uses USA Test Prep differently from you. Do what's best for your student. You're a teacher. We should all know that. If you have any questions, anytime, email me. My email is there. I check my email lots every day. I'm glad to help out however I can. And if need be, we can maybe meet face to face and I can walk you through some stuff if possible, or I can just point you in the right direction. Good luck. Enjoy the site. Again, I think you'll like it. And have a great school year.